What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ziah from Ziah TV, back with another video. And in today's video, we're actually going to be doing something that's different for this channel. It's going to be my first impressions on the new game Godfall. So if you don't know, Godfall is the game that just came out, I believe on the 12th or 13th. I believe it was the 12th. I believe it came out the same day that PlayStation came out. And essentially what it is it's they're calling it a looter slasher instead of like a looter shooter, but it's like a looter slasher action RPG. And to me, honestly, I'm just gonna start by saying it's awesome. But without further ado, let's get into this video. All right, so the first topic that we are going to talk about is gameplay, because obviously gameplay is the most important thing when it comes to a video game. So the gameplay, let me start off by saying that the gameplay is really, really smooth. I love the gameplay so far. Just the different actions that you do, transitioning between doing different actions, like it all feels really smooth. It's all really solid. I'm playing on the computer, by the way. I don't have a PS5 yet, but I am playing on the computer, just to keep that in mind. There is one mechanic in the game when it comes to gameplay that I'm not a fan of, and that is the front dash or like dodge. So basically what it is, and I think part of this comes from because I've played a lot of other games. Like I've been playing a lot of Genshin Impact recently, and I come from like Dark Souls and all that stuff. So I'll put gameplay up on it. So it's a 360 spin that you do, just kind of like forward. It doesn't cover a lot of range for one, which I think is probably my biggest problem about it, as well as it just feels awkward and it feels clunky, and I feel like I don't dodge things like hardly ever when I use that dodge. And this might not be a problem for everyone, but I know most of the time when I'm playing a game on the computer, especially like an action RPG, my hand is almost always on W or forward. And so because I'm constantly trying to advance forward and you know, walk towards the enemy as I'm fighting them and like keep that up. So I almost always end up doing that specific role because I have my hand on W. And with the way it works is you have like a side dash if you hold A or D, or left or right if you're on PlayStation and not holding forward, just left or right. And then you have like a back dash if you hold back, obviously, or S. So it's just weird to me that they would have it to where, you know, the roll forward is like not a dash. It's just inconsistent. I really don't like it, and I really wish we could change it. You can get like a skill that allows you to double tap when you do your roll, and you like slide, so that kind of helps alleviate that a little bit. But I know I'm spending a lot of time on it, but honestly it's just one of those mechanics that I feel like if you're coming from other action RPGs, you might struggle with it. I know I personally did, as well as my friend that I was playing with at the time. So yeah, but anyway, besides that, combat overall feels really good. It feels really solid. Weapons have weight to them. It feels really rewarding when you get a hit, when you get a kill. I haven't tried it on PlayStation, so I know they have like the haptic triggers on them, so it's gonna feel a little bit different and probably a lot better than it actually does on PC for once, which is crazy. But yeah, I think that overall I'd have to say that combat is just it's awesome. Like it feels so rewarding. You feel like a badass while you're playing. It's great. You really have to try this game out for yourself. I am highly recommending it. One thing with the combat that I will say is the lock-on mechanic. I feel like needs a little work. I just feel like it doesn't work well, or doesn't transition well. And I mean, like, you do lock on, but the lock-on gets lost a lot with a lot of enemies, because something I've noticed about this game as compared to like Dark Souls is enemies move around a lot more, and a lot of them have a lot more mobility than you'll see in like Dark Souls type games or other action RPGs. Not all of them, because there is some, you know, like Devil May Cry, where there's a lot more mobility and it's a lot more mobility focused. This one's a little bit different than that. But yeah, like a lot of the enemies move around a lot. You'll lose the targeting, and for some reason, I don't know why, but the targeting to me just doesn't feel that great. So I just think it needs a little bit work, or maybe a little cleanup in like the coding, maybe, just to really make it feel good. Another thing, this is probably, honestly, I'd have to say my biggest gripe, and it's not actually that big of a deal when you look at the whole game in total, but that's the lack of a mini map or a map when you're actually playing in the game. So you have like your little home base area, and you can go through and you can like check the map and stuff, and you know, you'll teleport into a location essentially, or teleport into like a mission or a hunt that you're doing. But once you actually get in game, unless I'm just completely dumb and I missed it, I didn't see any way like to check the map to actually know where I was. And to me, that's really weird for an action RPG that has a lot of these open world-ish elements. Like there's a lot of like area to explore within the individual like map place that you're spawning into. So not having a map to kind of give you a sense of direction just seems like a huge miss to me. Again, it's not that big of a deal because it doesn't affect your gameplay that much. Plus, they do have something in the game that you can kind of direct yourself. And essentially, what it does is it gives you this sight where you can see like objectives and like chests and stuff. You can kind of see like glowing lights in the sky, which again I'll put on gameplay of that. But I mean, it's I wish there was a map, but even not, I don't think it's like game breaking or anything like that. It's just it just feels off. Like it feels weird to play a game like this and not have any type of like mini map once you're actually in the game and you're actually exploring. It just seems weird. But I know that like I've had like a lot of criticisms, but I just want to get them out of the way in the front and then go into everything else because this game is actually amazing. Like don't get me wrong, I highly recommend this game. Like that's what you want to end the video right here and that's all you take from it. This game has a little bit of gripes that I'm not the happiest with. None of them are really too major or game ruining for me, so this game is absolutely amazing. The graphics are stunning. The graphics are great. It's weird when you first get in, and I was playing on the highest settings. The gameplay you'll see is actually on high, not on epic, which epic is the highest settings for computer because my computer couldn't handle recording it as well as playing the game as well, so sometimes I've dropped frames. So for just a smoother experience, I wanted to set it on high so that I could record it. But graphics are absolutely amazing. There's this weird film grain-ish that kind of overlays that you'll kind of notice throughout the game, and as I played it like stopped bothering me and I stopped kind of paying attention to it. But when I first got into the world, I really noticed it and it was just kind of weird. But besides that, like the game looks amazing. Like you'll see the gameplay and the footage here, and you'll see like this game, the visuals are 10 out of 10 in this game. The maps / the worlds that I've played through so far, I've only gone to the water world and played some of that. So I haven't gone all the way through the game yet. Again, this is just my first impressions. But they're really well constructed. They are incredibly well constructed. If the maps flow really well, there's a lot of ways to get from place to place and kind of flow in together, so you can like loop around and find things you missed and everything. So even though there's a lack of a mini map, the maps are pretty well constructed, which definitely helps alleviate the fact that there is no mini map that I know of. Progression and customization is 10 out of 10 in my opinion. There's so much customization when it comes to it. You have your skill tree, you have your characters, your valor plates, where you can have they're different plates basically are focused on different builds that you can do. So no matter what type of build you want to do, you'll find a valor plate that can supplement that build and really make it work. But it's also really nice the way they handle it, because you're like, if you pick a certain valor plate, you're not locked out of using certain weapons. You know what I mean? Like there's not like a valor plate that can only use long swords and this one can only use great hammers or war hammers, whatever they're called. You can still use like your weapons that you've been using and everything, no matter which plate you have, and really customize it. And that's my favorite thing, because that's one of the biggest things I look for in action RPGs and RPGs in general, is customization and really making I guess my playstyle and the way that I want to play the game come to life in the game, and that's really exciting for me, as I'm sure other people. So yeah, that's awesome. It's really great. One of my favorite things, this is actually probably one of my favorite things in the game, even though it seems kind of small, but in the skill tree, there is just a place when you go to the skill tree at any point where you can clear your skills and just respec. And there's no downside, there's no cost, and I just want to say to the people that made this game, thank you. Thank you so much for that, because that is something that I wish more games would implement. It is so nice. As someone who likes to tinker around and try different builds, that's like a godsend to me. Like at any point, like I can be trying a build. Like right now I'm going like a crit build and slash soul shatter build. But at any point, if I want to switch that, I can just reset my skill points and try something different. And I can just do that. You know what I mean? There's no downside. I don't have to go get some rare ass item. I don't have to get to the end of the game to unlock this. I don't have to do all this extra, go through the hoops and steps just to do that. And I think that's really awesome, for the fact that when I've played other games where they lock the ability to respec behind either like a ton of money that you have to spend, like in-game currency, or like some quest that comes on later in the game, or something like Remnant where you actually have to beat the game to unlock the items that you can then purchase to respec. To me, that's like it's so punishing to the players, because you might initially jump in and want to try a build, and maybe the build is just weak, or maybe it sucks, maybe you're not happy with it, maybe it's not what you thought it was going to be, but then you're just stuck playing that build. And I feel like that might ruin gameplay for like a lot of people when it comes to those type of games, or you might just feel like, oh, now I gotta fucking restart because, you know, like I don't have respec, and some games don't even have a respec option, which is crazy. Always have a respec option in your RPG games. It's very important in my opinion. So yeah, that's awesome. That's 10 out of 10. There's so many skills, and going into the weapons, actually, there's a lot of different choices when it comes to weapons, and it's a looter slasher, so it's similar if you've ever played Borderlands. Like, you'll just be showered with so many different weapons. One of the things that's really nice is the ability to upgrade weapons, as well as actually upgrade their rarity. So if you find a weapon that you like, but it might not be up to par with other weapons that you're finding, or it's not scaling well, then you can upgrade it and have it scale with you as the game progresses. My only thing with that is, I remember in a live stream before the game came out, they talked about how if you find a weapon you like, you can upgrade it all the way and take it through all the way to endgame. And unless I'm misremembering, so far I haven't seen a way, because I have a weapon that's max upgraded, and it's max enchanted, which enchanting is how you upgrade the rarity level. So it's legendary and it's max upgraded as much as I can do right now, but I can't do it anymore. And I'm starting to find weapons that are starting to outscale it. So I don't know if there's like something that I just haven't unlocked yet that ties into that, so I'm not going to criticize it too much on that right now. But I will say that that is something to keep in mind, is I do remember them saying that, and right now I don't see that. But again, I'm only in the second world, so maybe it does come later, I'm not sure. So just keep that in mind when you listen to that. But overall, I have to say that this game is absolutely amazing. I've had a ton of fun with it so far. The gameplay feels smooth. I'm really glad that this game exists, for the simple fact that I was looking for an action RPG like this for a long time, and when they spoiled it like a year ago, like the teaser that they had, I was so excited because it looks so cool and the concept was so cool. So I'm excited to keep playing through this game. Again, it's just my first impressions. If you want to see like more gameplay of this, and you actually want to see me post gameplay and maybe even do a playthrough of this game, then let me know in the comment section down below. I truly enjoy it. And if you like videos like this, if you like more of the gaming related content, because I know it's something I used to do on the channel and I don't really do anymore, then also just leave a comment down below, because you know, I'm here for you guys. Like, I like making content that I want to make, but I also want to make content that you guys want to see. So if we can line those two up, then we create a beautiful thing. But anyway, I don't want to take too much more of your time, because you need to get out there and play this game. So without further ado, thank you so much for watching this video. If you did like the video, then just leave a like on it. It's a small thing, but it does help out a lot. And consider hitting that subscribe button. It helps me out so much. You know what I mean? Just small thing. It takes a couple seconds. If you like my content, want to see more content, more funny videos, maybe more gameplay videos, maybe more first impressions, and then just hit that subscribe button, as well as turn the bell, so that way you are notified whenever I do upload. We here at Ziah TV, we do upload every single Saturday, so make sure you come back next Saturday for next week's video. Probably gonna be a skit, probably be something else, but you never know, so you have to come back to find out. Without further ado, guys, that's all the time I have today, so I will see you in the next video.
We all on the come. If y'all wanna come up, your man better step up. Matter of fact, bet just watch from my checkup. Matter of fact, bet just stop and flex up. Matter of fact, just know I'm